Hey there, this is Matt once again, and I'm not sure what I thought of this film. Like, I do, but I'm not sure what to call it because, okay, I didn't mind the first two, Olympus Has Fallen and London Has Fallen. I had issues with them, but I could definitely say I liked both of them more than this. And I was curious about it because I liked, I liked the first two. I liked Gerard Butler. I like the character that he plays. And I wouldn't say this is an awful film. Gerard Butler, I liked him, even though I think the writing let him down because he didn't seem as fun, as many memorable lines in this than he did in the first two. It didn't seem as if there was as much action in this film as in the first two. At least that's what it felt like to me. And I one hand, it's a time waster where if it's on cable, it's a cheap rent, and it's a rainy night, you watch it, you've seen the first two, or you like the first two. There are much worse movies. I mean, it's definitely better than Escape Plan 2, or Escape Plan 3, or Skyscraper with The Rock, or various other action films. But I also had a lot of issues with it. I mean, okay. The plot of the film, Gerard Butler plays the character Mike Banning. And he's going through some issues where he's had some concussions because of the past films. He has a wife and a kid. The wife is played by a different actress. Now it's played by Piper Perabo, who is the female FBI agent in The Adventures of Rocky Bullwinkle. So, I don't know, maybe Rhoda Mitchell didn't want to come back for this. Also, Aaron Eckhart's not in this film. I don't know why. But not only that, the character's not even mentioned, which is very strange. Especially with the story of this film. You think, oh, well, Mike Banning, Gerard Butler's character, he is with the new president, Morgan Freeman. Drones come in, they kill the rest of Secret Service, try to blow them up. Both of them escape. Morgan Freeman's in a coma. They find some evidence and blame Gerard Butler's character. He's in a prison transport. Bad guys come in, try to get Gerard Butler in the car. He beats people up, escapes. So, try and be the fugitive. Try and clear his name, meets up with his father, who he hasn't seen forever, played by Nick Nolte, who he's a guy who's a Vietnam vet who lives in the woods. And again, you would think, okay, a character who has done so much in the first two films, saved the White House, saved America from Shit Creek, saved the previous president more than once, saved London, and London Has Fallen, you would think people would give him the benefit of the doubt. Oh, there's this evidence. Again, give him the benefit of the doubt considering all the stuff he's done. Or, Aaron Eckhart, they never mention his character. I think he'd be like, wait a minute, I don't know about this. This guy who saved my life more than once. But I don't know why. To me, to not even reference Aaron Eckhart's character, that's bad writing. And part of the screenplay and the director was Ric Roman, and I can't pronounce the guy's last name, so I'll just say Ric Roman. 3 people worked on the script, including him, and he directed it. And you know what else this guy directed? Snitch, with Dwayne Johnson The Rock. I'm sorry, I do not like Snitch. Snitches get stitches. And I just found Snitch boring. And granted, I like this film more than Snitch, but I don't think he was the right director for the job, let alone the right writer for the job. I really don't. Gerard Butler's theater has this thing about, he gets migraines because of his concussions. But honestly, you didn't need that in the film because really nothing much comes of it. It's just once in a while he complains he has headaches and taking pills. That's it. It is not a whole lot that comes from that. But okay. And like I said, it doesn't seem like there's much action in the film. I mean, yet this opening scene, and that's another thing, this film is very predictable. I mean, when you introduce this character who is, oh my gosh, the hero's best friend, which we've never heard of in the first two films, and even to the point this best friend is asked to join for dinner with the wife and kid. And the actor playing him is Danny Huston, the guy who played Stryker and X-Men Origins Wolverine. I'm like, yeah, he's going to be the villain. And of course, yeah, he's the villain. Or even the opening scene, you have this action sequence happening. I'm watching and going, we don't see any blood. And the way this is being done, this is a training sequence, right? And it is a training scene. You have that. You have the scene where Morgan Freeman's fishing. Security is around the lake. Drones come in and just, blow up everything. Gerard Butler saves him by going in the water, and conveniently enough, Morgan Freeman is in a coma. Because if he was, then he could have just said, hey, that guy saved me. Yeah, the action scene where after the prison transport is stopped, bad guys put him in a car and he beats up a couple people in a car. Then he takes a semi later and fucks up the back of the semi so the trailer comes loose and hits a car behind him. Then in the woods when he's with his dad, played by Nick Nolte, and then Nolte just unleashes a bunch of explosions. And then the finale, which is in a hospital, where you get some alright gunplay, which I definitely thought was done better in London Has Fallen. I thought the finale in London Has Fallen was done much better. The outside where Lil is trying to be one shot, and then I'm going in the building, all these stuff, like shooting person in the foot, then shoot him in the head, and like Olympus Has Fallen, I remember seeing, being like, I liked it, I have issues. London Has Fallen, I remember seeing and being pleasantly surprised. This one is like, You got these two FBI agents that were completely pointless in the film. They did not even need to be there. Anytime I cut to these people, I'm like, why? Just cut it out. Probably because they have it in there. One of them is played by Jada Pinkett Smith. All these two FBI agents do are be stupid, find evidence and say he's the one who did it. Then they're told to go here where Gerard Butler left bodies after Nolte blew him up in the woods. Then Jada Pinkett and her partner, hey, let's go see this other guy, Danny Huston's character. And then even though there's a potential threat, these two agents walk in and get shot. And Jada Pinkett Smith and her partner die from stupidity. So that was completely fucking useless. One of the bright spots in the film was Nick Nolte. He was Sally's on the film too much, but he's in it probably like 15-20 minutes. I wish he was in the film more. I like the little back and forth he has with Gerard Butler. I would say that's the best dialogue in the film. Little bits when Nolte blows up a certain section and Gerard Butler's like, oh, now they know where we're at. And Nolte goes something to the effect of, so what? Fuck them. Also, there's another bit where Nolte pushes his button and unleashes this huge string of explosions, and Gerard Butler's like, really? And Nolte's like, well, you're welcome. I mean, it's nothing much, but I mean, it's nice, and Nolte, I thought, did fine in his role. And then really, after that, goes to the hospital because Morgan Freeman's waking up. Lance Reddick is in the movie as one of the Secret Service. I think the director of Secret Service. Lance Reddick, I'm like, oh, he's the concierge in John Wick. I'm like, wait a minute, shouldn't you be trying to help John Wick here? What are you doing in this movie? But I liked him as an actor. It was nice to see him in it. He didn't have much to do, but I liked him as an actor. But again, his character did nothing much to him. The bad guys blew up this hospital, but before that, Gerard Butler and some were able to get Morgan Freeman out of there. Bad guys go in the hospital. You get some gunplay, which is there. Nothing remarkable. Nothing that memorable. Really. I mean, you've definitely seen it done better in the first two. Plus, it's hard when you're in the same year as John Wick 3. If you want to talk about gunplay. But it's... Again, this movie just felt... I don't know if I want to say lazy, but it's just uninspired. Uninspired is a good word. It's a good word to use in this occasion. And just the action... Again, it didn't seem it was that much action. And what was there was... This was like, So that's what I mean. Like, I have a lot of little issues. I have a lot of issues with it. Not little issues, but a lot of issues with it. Pretty much, it ends with Gerard Butler trying to get the bad guys who are trying to get into a helicopter. Gerard Butler shoots one. They drop a grenade. Puts it on the guy. He gets thrust back. Of course, he's not dead. With a grenade launcher, he blows up a helicopter, which sounds cooler than how it looks because you just see the helicopter blow up with some CGI enhancements. And that's the thing with these Fallen movies. For some reason, in all three of them, they don't have the best CGI. They have some wonky CG. I'm like, why don't you just do it practical then? All practical, but what do I know? But you see it explode, and then the bad guy, Danny Huston, looks, and then there's Gerard Butler holding the gun. Puts it down, they get into a little knife fight, which isn't much. Isn't really that memorable. Stabs Danny Huston, like, under the armpit, like that region. Guy bleeds to death. Again, there's not really a lot of one-liners that you heard from Gerard Butler in the first two. There's... Okay. Since they're going all over the place to make it straightforward. I like Gerard Butler's acting. His acting wasn't bad. Morgan Freeman, he does fine. Tim Blake Nelson from Oh Brother Where Art Thou, he's in it. Nolte was one of the best parts of the film. Nolte and Gerard Butler, some of their interactions was fun. It's one of those films that you could do a lot worse, whether it be a State Plan 2, State Plan 3, Skyscraper, other movies I've mentioned here in the past. It's just... Not mentioning, let alone having Aaron Eckhart was just not mentioning was weird. It's predictable plot wise. You just see pretty much anything, everything coming a mile away. The action scenes, it didn't feel like that there was a lot of action. What was there was like, eh. This whole concussion thing with Gerard Butler's character, it really goes nowhere. The casting changes of Piper Perabo as the wife, she did fine, but it's like, again, it's always one of those weird things where it's someone different in the first two, but now someone else in this one. The whole idea of, well, wait a minute, this guy did all this stuff in the first two, and very quickly you just blame him. Yep. Instead of even thinking of the word framed. That's why, in retrospect, this whole fugitive idea, I think is a mistake. I think there's other ideas you could have done. Yeah, I know at one point Angel Has Fallen, I swear they said it was going to be on an airplane. Maybe not an airplane, but there's other places you could have gone. Hell, if the hospital was the entire fucking movie, or I don't know. Gerard Butler and Morgan Freeman together throughout the whole film, and they're in the woods, and they're trying to escape the forest, and the bad guys all around them, and they can't get in contact, and if they do, they don't know who to trust, and maybe something that I don't know, just maybe take a page from Shoot to Kill with Tom Berenger. I mean, overall, it's a disappointing film. I don't know if I could say I hate it because of some turn my brain off moments of bits of action, Nolte, Gerard Butler's, the acting, but it just wasn't as much fun as the first two. That's really what it is. It's just not as fun as the first two. It's just not as much action, not as much mediocre. Mediocre is the best word I could think of. And that's why I was sort of pausing. I'm like, what's the word that sums it up? Mediocre, sad to say. It's a mediocre film. And that sucks. I don't think I would put it on my worst list when it comes to the end of the year, but I would not put on my best list either. It's just like, I saw it. I would never pick it up from my collection. I'll stick with the first two. I mean, yeah, you can watch it if you're a Gerard Butler fan of these films. I mean, you could do worse, like I said, but... And hey, there are people who like it, so to each their own. It just... Yeah. Kind of a forgettable, mediocre film. And only like Nolte, Butler, maybe a lot more of them would have worked out for the better. I think you had the wrong director. The director's snitch should not have been near this movie. You should have gotten... It's cliche to say one of the John Wick directors, but Michael Davis, who did Shoot 'Em Up. Have him direct one of these movies. Shoot 'Em Up is a very underrated film with Clive Owen. And that guy knows how to handle action. And a sense of humor. So yeah, let Michael Davis, who did Shoot 'Em Up, do it. I'm sure there's people out there that think of a lot of other ideas for directors. But either way, thanks for watching, take care, and we will see you in the next video. later.